Gledalke in gledalci, lepo pozdravljeni. Tudi na Martinovo smo z vami. Za vas smo ponovno pripravili aktualnosti iz Evropskega parlamenta in Evropske unije. Zato vas vabimo, da se nam pridružite. Migrantski otroci so otroci s pravicami otrok. Nehajte zavlačevati in ukrepajte, pravijo evropski poslanci, ki so pozvali Evropsko unijo, da zagotovi spoštovanje pravic vseh otrok, ne glede na to, ali so migranti ali ne.
A rescue operation to save migrants in the night, like so many others. On board, they are adults, but also children. According to UNICEF, nearly 50 million children have been uprooted worldwide. They're crossing borders, some forcibly displaced, some are with their parents, but many are alone. In theory, these children have rights, but in practice, they are often ignored. Meeting in Strasbourg, the MEPs are sounding the alarm bell.
Pour moi, les enfants ne sont pas des migrants ou des personnes en mouvement, ce sont avant tout des enfants. Et nous avons des responsabilités, des obligations beaucoup plus fortes à leur égard donc à l'égard de qui que ce soit. Ce n'est pas de la compassion dont je parle là, c'est du respect des règles auxquelles nous avons souscrit.
And in Europe, these obligations are not being met. Children's admission procedures are rarely any faster than adults. Frequent arbitrary detentions, too slow family reunification, too few relocations. In 2016, at the end of September, only 46 unaccompanied children had been relocated.
What we need is action, not words. We've got to move from a position of just talking about it to understanding that it's action that's needed. And the Commission needs to stop making excuses, needs to stop being so bureaucratic about it, needs to take, that's the point, needs to take action. We have structures, we have mechanisms.
The tools exist, but even such a fundamental right as access to education is not always being respected. And yet Europe is far from being the continent that receives the most migrant children. Agreements between the EU and third countries that are meant to improve the management of migratory flows require increased control, the MEPs say. The situation is getting worse. Today, under 18-year-olds account for half the total number of refugees in the world.
Oddajo pa nadaljujemo z drugim delom pregleda plenarne seje z naslednjo vsebino. Trenutek, ko je prvi podpredsednik komisije pozabil svoje besedilo, resnica o kolesarjenju in Evropski uniji ter drugi vrhunci seje v Strasbourgu.
Wenn ich die Artikel und die Überschriften der letzten Tage mir vergegenwärtige, dann passt es überhaupt nicht zusammen, weil wir nach diesem Europäischen Rat mehr Konfusion haben, mehr Durcheinander haben, als Orientierung haben.
Alcuni membri del Consiglio europeo non hanno memorizzato bene la battuta del presidente ciclista Romano Prodi, che disse: per andare in bicicletta bisogna pedalare, se non si pedala si cade a terra.
There is something fundamentally wrong here.
Denmark, Germany and oops.
If the EU cannot even reach an agreement with a country such as Canada, a country with similar environmental and labour standards, what hope do we have for telling the rest of the world that the EU is open for business?
We Europeans, we have something to be proud of. We have been leading for many decades in the area of democracy, the rule of law and fundamental rights.
Pensez-vous vraiment renforcer la démocratie en nommant un groupe d'experts chargé de juger si telle ou telle loi, votée par des parlements nationaux souverains, est conforme à votre idéal de démocratie?
O respeito pelo Estado de Direito é princípio basilar da União Europeia. Exigimo-lo como condição de entrada na União é dos critérios de Copenhaga. Mas somos menos eficazes em assegurá-lo depois de Estado-membro passar a Estado-membro da União Europeia. E sabemos que em diversos Estados este princípio atravessa momentos difíceis.
Am Montag dieser Woche vor 60 Jahren begann ein Aufstand, der über Wochen dauerte und unendlich viele Opfer kostete. Das ungarische Volk erhob sich gegen eine Fremdherrschaft und eine Diktatur, die an Brutalität und Rücksichtslosigkeit nicht zu überbieten war.
Vous savez qu'il y a 15 jours, le principal quotidien d'opposition a été fermé en Hongrie.
The number of what we call unaccompanied minors reached a record of more than 95,000 last year.
The truth is that often those children who survive the journey find themselves in no man's land, alone, vulnerable and easily exploited.
Falta acciones concretas, acciones en materia de reunificación familiar, de procedimientos de acogida y recepción, prohibición de la detención arbitraria de menores.
Liebe Kolleginnen und Kollegen, ich freue mich, Ihnen mitteilen zu können, dass die Konferenz der Präsidenten soeben den diesjährigen Sacharow-Preis an Nadia Murad und Lamia Aji Bashar verliehen hat.
Katerih 5 točk z tokratnega zasedanja pa je torej ključnih?
Nadia Murad and Lamia Aji Bashar are the two winners of this year's Sakharov Prize. They survived Islamic State brutality in Iraq and denounced the genocide of Yazidis. That's the amount of budget cuts proposed by EU governments. The Parliament says no, because the money is needed to boost youth employment and to tackle the migration crisis. That's the percentage of deaths in Europe due to cardiovascular disease. Transformed oils like trans fats are a major cause. The Parliament called for a mandatory limit. The number of refugee minors registered in the EU in 2015 is impressive. EU lawmakers think appropriate reception centres and access to education are key for the children. Comprehensive, cooperative, critical and constructive. MEPs want to reset the relations with Iran by expanding trade, but they remain critical of the use of the death penalty in Iran.
Sledi pa prispevek o trgovinski politiki Evropske unije in sporazumu CETA, pravilih za letalsko varnost, prihodkih kmetov in spodbujanju podjetnih potrošnikov.
Trade deals are crucial but also struggling for support. MEPs will discuss the future of EU trade policy. The Trade Committee will also examine the recently reached agreement with Canada, CETA, before a vote in December. Drones have taken off, but the aviation safety rules need to be upgraded. The Transport Committee will adopt new standards to ensure they meet future challenges. Europe's farmers are increasingly exposed to climate risks and fluctuations in world markets. The Committee for Agricultural Affairs plans to propose new solutions to reduce the impact of price volatility on their income. Whether sharing their car or offering a bed in their flat, consumers are turning into prosumers by offering semi-professional services online. MEPs will be discussing ways to promote the growing sharing economy without sacrificing consumer protection.
Delitvena ekonomija spreminja potrošnike v podjetnike s samo enim dotikom na pametnem telefonu. Ampak ali bi morala biti pravila za spletne platforme, kot je na primer Uber, enaka kot za klasična podjetja, ko gre za obdavčitev, zaposlovanje in izpolnjevanje standardov zagotavljanja zdravja in varnosti? In ali bi morala Evropska unija določiti nova pravila igre? Eden izmed italijanskih europoslancev misli, da bi morala.
The sharing economy is turning consumers into entrepreneurs at the tap of a smartphone. But should online platforms such as Airbnb, Uber and Deliveroo be treated like traditional companies when it comes to paying taxes, hiring workers or ensuring health and safety standards? And should the EU step in to set the rules of the new game? Italian MEP Nicola Danti thinks so.
Le piattaforme stanno cambiando la nostra vita anche per chi non è più giovanissimo come me e non è un nativo digitale. Io penso che stanno facilitando molto i consumatori nell'utilizzo di molti servizi e anch'io utilizzo abbastanza regolarmente delle piattaforme per alcuni servizi. Io penso che dovremmo far sì che gli operatori professionali dell'economia collaborativa debbano avere le stesse regole di quelli che sono gli operatori dell'economia tradizionale. Diverso ragionamento deve essere fatto per quelli che sono gli operatori non professionali che invece hanno un ruolo diverso, sono i consumatori che offrono dei servizi ad altri consumatori.
So what can EU lawmakers do?
Io credo che oggi abbiamo l'occasione di creare un sistema di regole che facilita i consumatori, ma che li tutela e che li rende più forti in un mercato come questo e in questa nuova economia. Credo che sia uno dei punti essenziali della futura relazione dovrà essere quello di avere un approccio comune europeo. Evitiamo di creare 28 approcci all'economia della collaborazione diversi in Europa, creiamo un piccolo campo di regole semplici dove l'economia collaborativa possa svilupparsi con forza in Europa e essere uno dei motori trainanti della crescita e dell'occupazione.
Nagrada Saharov je nagrada Evropskega parlamenta. Za leto 2016 je dodeljena ženama, ki sta preživeli spolno suženjstvo, ki sta ga doživeli strani Islamske države in postali sta glasnici žensk, ki so bile spolno zlorabljene strani Islamske države. Javno podpirata skupnost jezidov v Iraku, versko manjšino, nad katero so uporniki Islamske države izvršili genocid.
Ich freue mich, Ihnen mitteilen zu können, dass die Konferenz der Präsidenten soeben den diesjährigen Sacharow-Preis an Nadia Murad und Lamia Aji Bashar verliehen hat.
Lamia Aji Bashar and Nadia Murad survived the terrorist group Islamic State's brutality against Yazidis and are now spokespersons for women afflicted by IS's campaign of sexual violence. The Yazidis are a Kurdish religious community mostly living in Iraq and Syria. Lamia Aji Bashar spent 20 months in captivity and was badly wounded when she escaped. With her testimony to the UN, Nadia Murad contributed to the recognition that IS is committing genocide against Yazidis.
Program Erasmus Plus Evropske unije je namenjen študentom, vendar ponuja priložnosti tudi za vse, ki se učijo, učitelje, zaposlene, prostovoljce in mnoge druge.
Education, training, youth and sport. The EU cares about them all. Since 1987, the Erasmus programme has been supporting mobility of young people. More than 3 million students have studied in another European country thanks to Erasmus. The upgraded version of the EU programme, adopted by the European Parliament for 2014 to 2020, is Erasmus+. 14.7 billion euros will provide opportunities for over 4 million Europeans to study, train, gain experience and volunteer abroad. This represents more than 2 billion euros a year, in which the majority of funds goes to education and traineeships. 1/10 goes to youth, and a bit less than 2% for sport. There's a stronger focus on improving young people's job prospects and tackling youth unemployment. 5 years after graduation, the unemployment rate of young people who studied or trained abroad is 23% lower than that of their peers who didn't. But who can benefit from these mobility exchanges? Students in higher education, up to 2 million, including 450,000 trainees. Students seeking vocational training and apprentices, up to 650,000 grants. Volunteers and youth workers, about 500,000 young people, and teachers, youth trainers and other staff. Opportunities here for 800,000 people.
It seems to be
Znanstveniki in poslanci se lahko veliko naučijo drug od drugega. In zdaj lahko svoje znanja in izkušnje izmenjujejo zahvaljujoč programu, katerega cilj je zagotoviti usposobljeno odločanje in učinkovito integracijo znanstvenih nasvetov v postopke odločanja v Evropski uniji.
So, hi, welcome in European Parliament.
An Austrian MEP greets a British scientist. In real life, the two are not likely to meet, but the European Parliament is making it happen under a scheme called Science Meets Parliament.
The best idea is to meet with scientists out of different areas to understand what is the work, what they are doing, how can people get benefit out of their knowledge.
It is a very good idea to know how the legislatory
works in the EU.
Climate change, biotechnology, wireless networks, these are only some of the issues where scientific expertise plays a major role. Under the scheme, MEPs are paired with scientists in their fields of interest. MEPs can then make informed decisions about complicated questions, while for scientists, it's a way to get involved in EU decision-making. On a more personal level, the scheme also enables MEPs and scientists to get an insight into each other's work. MEP Eva Kaili has chosen to meet with a professor in bioengineering.
So for me, it's important because it's going to change my point of view on the new materials, the new ways of designing these medical devices also, and how legislation makes it difficult for them or how it could make it easier for them.
In the end, everyone will go home with a better understanding of what the other does.
Spoštovane in spoštovani, hvala, da ste z nami spremljali aktualno dogajanje v Evropskem parlamentu. Prijeten preostanek dneva vam želimo in nasvidenje čez teden dni.